In one of my recent live shows, we proved how Muhammad plagiarized stories from the Talmud. I'll provide the link to that video and the references we will use in this video in the description box. In this short video, I will give you another example of how Muhammad plagiarized legends of the Jews, yet calling it divine inspiration from Allah in Quran. If we go to Surah Al-An'am chapter 6 ayahs 75 to 78, we see the story of Abraham aka Ibrahim in the Quran. After Allah showing Abraham the heavens and the earth, Abraham commits shirk and said, Ra'a kawkaba qala hadha Rabbi. He saw a planet. Abraham said, this is my Lord. But when it set, he said, I do not like those that set. Which is a funny thing to say in the Quran, because Abraham did not see Allah at all. So going by that logic, Abraham should have not worshipped Allah at all, because Allah never showed his face. Allah all that time was hiding behind a hijab. And in verse 77 we read, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ بَازِغًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. Then when he saw the moon rising, he said, this is my Lord. But when it set, he said, if my Lord does not guide me, I will be of the misguided people. And in verse 78 we read, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي هَذَا أَكْبَرُ. When he saw the sun rising, he said, this is my Lord, this is bigger. Notice, biggest here is a false translation. Now, let me prove to you that Muhammad plagiarized these Quranic verses from the legends of the Jews, which existed 3 centuries before Islam. On Safaria.org, we can find the proof. In Legends of the Jews, book 1:5, we see the same story of Abraham mentioned. Let's read. When the sun sunk and the stars came forth, he said, these are the gods. But the dawn came and the stars could be seen no longer. And then he said, I will not pay worship to these, for they are no gods. Thereupon the sun came forth, and he spoke, this is my God, him will I extol. But again the sun said, and he said, he is no God. And beholding the moon, he called her his God, to whom he would pay divine homage. Then the moon was obscured, and he cried out, this too is no God. Do you see how easy it is to find how Muhammad even plagiarized from legends and fairy tales of the Jews before him? Now some people might ask, how did Muhammad got access to all of these stories? Well, the answer is very simple. Muhammad had many encounters with Jews, and he must have heard these stories from them. And we also know that Muhammad commanded his scribe Zayd ibn Thabit to learn Hebrew and Aramaic, because Muhammad needed a translator for the letters or books he used to receive to be translated into Arabic for Muhammad to create his Quran. Now, do you understand why the people used to call Muhammad the ear? And in many ayahs we read how the Quraysh of Mecca called him out and said, these are known tales of the ancients that we heard before you, which you, Muhammad, caused to be written. Muhammad plagiarized all of these stories he heard, yet lied and said, this is divine inspiration from Allah, which proves that the Prophet of Islam is nothing but a thief who used to steal stories from here and there. How embarrassing. Please stay away from Islam.